All right, cool. So let's do the basic intro thing. Just tell me who you guys are, what your names are, and what you guys do.
Right, so we are Vile Monarch, at least two of us.
Mhm.
My name is Kacper Kwiatkowski, and I am one of the bosses of the company and the game designer of Crash Your Enemies.
And I'm Grzegorz Mazur. I'm also another boss and a programmer.
Awesome, cool. So that's the easy question. So uh, the first question that we have is just what is Crush Your Enemies? Like, give me the rundown. I've played it before or seen it played at PAX. I met you guys at PAX East and got to like touch it, and I was all like weirded out. I was like, wait a second, there's only a mouse here. Like, what's going on? So, could you give me just the rundown of the game really quick?
Yeah, that was the whole idea to have really, really basic controls. That's why you only had your mouse and the keyboard was somewhere in the compartment. But then we wanted to have all the complexity from the real-time strategy games, but like on another layer of the game, not in terms of how many buttons you use or how long is the game or how many units there, rather in different relationships between different mechanics. So we think it's really approachable. We tested it on people. But at the same time, it gets more and more complex with every level.
Right. It seemed like, yeah, it seemed really approachable in the sense that even if you aren't a big RTS fan, like people might be scared by that phrase of like, oh, it's an RTS and I have to like learn a lot of things and like understand this all these mechanics. But it seemed like you could just sit down and just through trial and error, like really quickly learn because you could fail really quickly and then you can get started right back again, right? Like that's right. That seemed really interesting, which is not necessarily normally in an RTS. Normally in an RTS, once it starts to go bad, you're just like stuck there for a long time,
Oh yeah.
like you know.
And after an hour, you discover that you did everything wrong and you have to start over.
Right, exactly.
It's the worst thing
Um,
about classic RTS.
right. Cool. All right. So we have sort of the basic. One of the main things we could see it behind you. You have a pretty unique art style. It's a little less. It's kind of like funny to sort of match the game, right? So can you talk about that and the barbarians and stuff?
Yeah, the Barbarians. So at the beginning, we knew we wanted to have something around medieval themes because they are so understandable. You
Hmm.
understand that archer is shooting from the distance and the warrior is not. But at the same time, we wanted to give it a little twist, something funny, something even rude, naughty.
Right.
Barbarians came quite naturally. We are barbarians ourselves.
Cool.
We drink a lot and party a lot.
Well, yeah. When I first saw you guys, I made a joke because I was like, "Man, are we in the right place? Like these guys are wearing the helmets and like
Yeah.
you seem like very enthusiastic and a little bit crazy, but um, yeah, it seemed cool. I just didn't know right off the bat, so I was like, "Wait, are these the guys that made the game?" Oh, okay, they are.
Babes.
um,
Babes.
exactly. Yes, you were the booth babes with the horned helmets. Um, cool. So that's sort of the background. I like that idea that the art style was sort of chosen because you needed to have the mechanics be simple, right? You needed to have the archers and you need to have the big guys and then the weak guys and whatever. So that's cool. I didn't really think about that. That's interesting. Um, so we talked about this a little bit, but I'll go back to it. Um, why an RTS game? Like, are you guys big fans of old RTS games? Or are you just like a fan of the genre in general? Like,
I believe
Tough
Grzegorz.
question.
Yeah,
yeah.
you played an
Yeah.
RTS once, haven't you?
Yeah, I played a lot of RTSs. Even now, I started playing StarCraft 2 once again, and
Oh yeah.
it's too big game. So I was a fan of RTSs, but I think we haven't decided to make Crash Royale because we were fans of strategies. We just had an idea for making something new in a genre. So it's not like we are big fans, so we want to make the game in the genre, but we just had an idea for this.
Yeah, I'd even say it was the other way around. It started as a really simple, tiny idea in my head, and when I shared it with my friends, including Greg here, it it turned out it's an idea for an RTS game. I wasn't considering it an RTS before, but having it shared, we discussed it, and yeah, it's kind of like RTS game. So naturally, we started thinking about Warcraft, Starcraft, and how we can tie it all together.
Right. Cool. So I saw something recently on social media where you shared like an image, and I think it was just like a piece of paper, right, with a bunch of squares on it, and it was just like squares and arrows and like that. I guess that was the first idea, the initial idea. That's where it came from.
Oh yeah. Actually, it was kind of a board game, the really first version of the game.
And it was done in a coffee shop or something like that.
Yeah, one of the iteration at least was done in a cafe.
Nice. So you were getting your coffee and you were like, "Oh man, I got this great idea," and just kept selling it. That's cool.
Actually, it was wine.
Oh, okay. So one of those kind of cafes.
So
Yeah.
not too barbaric, coffee and wine.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, cool. So you mentioned like that you talked to your friends and you talked to Greg, and so how do you guys know each other? Like, give me a little background on you guys personally.
So we were together for a while before we started Crush Your Enemies. Namely, it was a company called 11-Bit Studios. We made a game called Sleepwalker's Journey together, and then we worked on This War of Mine. And it is not a coincidence that we were making This War of Mine, and at the same time we started Crush Your Enemies. For us, it was a kind of a relaxed project after the whole day at war. We wanted to have something fun and something funny to work on.
Yeah, it seemed like that was part of the reason why I was a little confused when I first met you guys, because I was like, oh, these guys used to work on This War of Mine. Cool. All right, this is going to be serious. Like, this is going to be, all right, I got to prepare myself. And then we met you, and then you had Barbarian helmets on, and I was like, okay, all right, I guess it's sort of natural that you do something so serious, and it is well received and does really well and goes on multiple platforms. And then you sort of had something to sort of calm down from that and be a little more relaxed and fun and like not take it too serious.
Yeah, maybe in the future we can do another serious game. Who knows?
Right. Cool. So talking about, I sort of touched on it just a second ago, multi-platform. So This War of Mine started off as a PC game, right? And then it went over to mobile, I think, right? Eventually it got on mobile.
Some consoles.
And
went everywhere.
Right, exactly. So Crush Your Enemies is doing the same thing from the get-go, right? It's going to be on mobile, and it's also going to be on PC and all platforms. Can you talk about that process and like how important that is, you think, really?
With every game, we are trying to put it on every platform possible. So from the very beginning, we try to design the game and do the game in a way that will allow us to port the game in different platforms. A big challenge is to have controls on PC, like mouse or keyboard, and then put it to touchscreen. So, but we had this simple controls in Crush Your Enemies, so it wasn't that hard. So it's our philosophy from the very beginning. We did it in 11-Bit Studios, we do it now. So it's quite challenging because we have to make a lot of different builds for the game. For example, now we have to prepare 10 builds of the game. So because it's Windows, Mac, Linux, Mac for App Store and Steam. It's Android, iOS, it's Android with Google Play and without Google Play. So there's a lot of this. We tried some other platforms, but it was too much. So there will be some more, but not too.
Wait, what other platforms are even left at that point? Are you talking about a Game Boy or something?
Phone.
Oh, right, yeah.
In progress.
Yeah, in progress. And consoles, of course, later. So.
Right, cool. Yeah, awesome. I think it makes sense that you have them, that you bring it to all the platforms, especially because the controls are simple and they are as easy as being able to touch it, but also, and then the other interesting thing, which is sort of a hot topic, is cross-platform play. Like you guys are going to have that from the start, which is cool. That's interesting.
Yeah, because with multiplayer, there's a problem that there's this thing, fragmentation, and we have different platforms and they cannot play together. So you have a lot of different groups of people, so they can play against each other. So and you have to have a lot of people in multiplayer to make it live, because if there are no opponents, there's no point in playing multiplayer. So we thought that this is the only way we can do this. Because the game is not that big, so we don't know how the big audience will be, so why divide them? So connecting all of them.
And the philosophy from the beginning was to have the very same version of the game on every platform. And it's not really that common actually. Usually you have slightly different version or very different versions, as a matter of fact, for different platforms. And here we wanted to have just the same game, so people can play with each other, and we don't have to worry about the differences.
Right. I guess, yeah. Why I said it's interesting is because you don't really see it a lot, right? A lot of times you say, "Oh man, it's going to be on this one," and you have to choose which one. But it seems like because you did the mobile thing, you can kind of plug all those together, and yeah, it's cool. I'm glad you guys did that. Okay, so right, we talked about this Warmind. You guys already brought that up. That's great. So the mobile thing, I think it's interesting too because you guys, there are a lot of things happening in the mobile space right now, right? Everyone's talking about Pokemon and everyone's talking about games that are really accessible on their phones. So I think it's cool that you guys have something, although it's maybe not as accessible as a 25-year franchise. It is cool that you can just like pick it up on your phone, play a couple games really quickly, and then boom, like it's over. I guess the thing I want to stress for people that are watching is that it is an RTS, but don't be afraid. Don't be scared by that thing that like, oh my god, it's an RTS and I'm gonna have to drop a lot of hours into it. Like it's simple and fun and quick and easy.
On the other hand, don't expect it to be as easy as, I don't know, some Farmville game. It's something in between. It's accessible, but at the same time, it gives you a true gaming challenge.
Right. Yeah. I don't want to forget about that part too. Once we started getting further in the game, it was like, all right, cool. I get the mechanics now, and then whoa, I have to really think about this. It's a simple mechanics, but they get really deep as you sort of like keep going on, which is interesting. Okay, so what's it like? This is a sort of a more broad question. What's it like working in a small team? It seems like you guys have always worked in small teams, but what's it like just having like the two of you sort of only working together on this thing? Is that like good, bad? Is it fun? Is it like hard?
As for me, I love it because I can do so many interesting things. Basically, something new every day, and I learn every day. Because in a small team, you have to be everything at once. You have to, in my case, for example, it's writing, game design, marketing, managing, outsource, and a lot more. So it's just exciting. You're not feeling like a cog in the machine.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, it's your own thing, and you get to own it, and no one else gets to really tell you what you have to do, which is cool. So I guess to go along with that, I would be remiss to not mention that this is a Gamebitious game, right? And what's that process been like for you guys? I know they have sort of a unique thing that they do with the way they fund the games, and like how's it been working with them?
The interesting thing is that the whole business model is really transparent for us. We are working with them just like with any publisher, only better. We don't have to be afraid about all those intricacies of this crowdfunding thing.
Right.
So it's been really great working with them.
The best thing is that they gave us all the freedom for making the game. We just make the game, and it's our game, and they just help us to sell this game. So they don't interfere. So it's really important for us. We don't like publishers who say to us, "You should change this in the game or change that."
Right.
So it's good here.
Yeah, so it seems like they trust you guys, which is an interesting sort of relationship, right?
Yeah, we trust each other, so we don't say them how to sell the game also.
Right. Okay, so this is another broad question, but I think it's interesting. I've been talking to multiple people about it. The Polish gaming scene, right? Like it's like really big right now, right? There's a lot of people coming out of Poland. There's a lot of people making cool and interesting things, and it's in Poland. Can you guys talk about that and how that it has influenced you and how that has affected you guys?
It surely affected us because we're part of it. We exist, I think, as a company because of this, I don't know how to call it, a Polish game development boom, something like this. And it's really, I think it's a really great time and place to make games, because not only because it's easier to simply get money for the project and to get it done, but also the community here is really, really brilliant. We're just having fun making games and meeting people that are also making games here in Poland.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
200 or 300 of companies, so it's a small country, so it's really a big number. But companies are not competing against each other, so each other are helping. I help to other company, other company helps to us. Even with Crash Orange, it was quite interesting because we have this closed game developers forum in Poland. So we were putting there our game to people who wanted to play it. We are asking them about opinions, so we learned a lot and they helped us a lot. So it's like a community-driven development almost, and it was helpful. So I don't know if it looks like that in other countries, but in Poland it works really cool, really well.
You can imagine how our special thanks section in the credits looks like.
Right.
Huge.
It was like 4 or 5 developers in the game. Like a full time, it was 3.5 people, but the special thanks are like hundreds of them.
Yeah, it might.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people helped us. So, and it happens with all the games in Poland.
Yeah, I've been noticing that, meeting other developers, and they're like, "Oh, I'm from Poland." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you must know these people." And they're like, "Yes, I know them, and I know them, and we all know each other, and we all work together." I like it. I think it's a very interesting idea, and then also model that I feel like other people need to think about. Right, a lot of other people in business and whatever market, they think, "Oh, I need to only help myself, and I don't want to help anyone else." But I feel like the attitude is, if we all help each other, then we all elevate, we all get higher, and we all do better, right? Very, very interesting thing that's happening there. Can you do you want to shout out any other Polish games that we should check out while we're here? Anything else that comes off the top of your head?
Oh, geez. I think I should, but what specific
Something new?
Anything that we should try that you should that you want to recommend to people from your friends.
Like a couple of days ago, I started to play Layers of Fear. It's like a horror game from Poland. It was wow.
Yeah, and an upcoming game called Bohemian Killing really looks great. It's kind of a detective exploration game with great mood and great story.
Cool.
Awesome. Have you heard about The Witcher?
Oh yeah, I think I might.
You might check it out.
Yeah. Yeah, that was also part of the conversation that I think I've been hearing too. Is everyone jokes about how they've either worked on or know someone that has worked on The Witcher, and then they got into video game development, right?
We even have people in our team that worked on the, for example, one QA guy and most of all the composer of the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, that's cool. It seems like that's the hub, and then everyone sort of goes from there. So the next question, I guess, then is, how did you guys get into game development, like in the beginning? And like, do you have any advice for anyone else who's trying to do that? Because you're saying it's a good time for it, but like, how do you do it? How did you guys do it?
Start making games. Really, because nowadays it's really easy. You don't have to, have a college degree from programming or read 10 books. You just download some software and play around, watch some tutorials, and maybe in an evening you'll have something interesting, or at least something that works, and you know that you can pull it off, and then start from this point. Then you can meet other people who do that and learn from them.
I always say that when you know something about doing games, you just should go to some other company and work for someone for a couple of years to learn how to do it professionally. So don't go indie at the very beginning. It's really, because you will probably fail. So actually I did, and he did also this.
Yeah.
We were trying to be indies at the very beginning, and it was not so good.
Right. Yeah. And then you got like a bigger job at a bigger place, and then sort of went from there.
Learn all the good experience from the people who made some good games, and then try to do your own.
You still can start as an indie from scratch. Even in Poland, we have this guy called Sos Sosowski. who's like the indie game developer ever. I think it's an exception.
Yes, he's the one.
It's easier to go work somewhere, gain some experience, and then start on your own. Start working on your own thing.
Cool. Awesome. Let's see what else I got. Yeah, I think I got everything. Is there? Oh, so let's do the basic stuff. Give me. We already know this, but you guys tell me. The game comes out tomorrow, right? And then tell me all the platforms, just so we have it all covered.
PC, Mac, Linux, iOS, Android.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. I already covered how you guys know each other. So actually, this is just to flesh out the last question that I asked before. Where did you guys get your specific start? Like, what big developer or bigger developer that you worked for that sort of gave you that experience that you're talking about?
Oh, it was 11-bit Studios.
11-bit.
Where
Okay.
we
Cool.
did This War of Mine. But both of us worked in smaller companies before 11-bit Studios. Mine was Navia Games, where I did I worked on around 5 games during 1 year or something like this.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
Still, it's experience, and I value it a lot.
Yeah. But for me, the most important thing was the Sleepwalker's Journey and the Sword of Mine. It was the biggest thing we did, most successful, the best experience. So, yeah. That's just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool that yeah, it's a great game. Played it a lot, and then it went to mobile, and I got to play it there, and I would play it on planes and feel really sad sometimes when I was traveling. But yeah, it's cool that you guys got to do something solid and get some experience, and it was successful and well regarded in the industry. And then sort of now you get to do your own thing, and that's fun too. All right, cool. I think I got everything. Do we want to? Is there anything I missed? Is there anything you guys want to talk about specifically that you want to cover about the game or anything?
I don't know. Eat your veggies and listen to good heavy metal.
And buy the game.
Okay. You know what? Let's do that. Give me some artists that people should listen to in the heavy metal scene.
Maybe from Poland.
Yes, exactly, from Poland.
Yeah.
That they might not know about.
Behemoth is the most obvious choice. It's a safe choice
Right.
because they are a solid performer. But maybe you know something more niche.
For example, the niche band called Batuszka.
Batuszka. All right, you got to spell that for me so that way I can.
From Poland, but nobody
Are
knows
they?
from where exactly. who are they? They just play some Russian style, but they are Polish.
Oh, cool, nice. I'll give you one. Maybe you've heard of them. Electro Quarterstaff.
What's the name?
Electro Quarterstaff.
No, I haven't heard.
I'll have to send you. You'll have to just listen to them. They're really good. They have 3 guitar players. They're all really they're really good. So it's fun. All right, cool. We covered the metal. We covered the game. We covered you guys. We covered your past. I think we got it all. Thank you so much, guys. Good luck tomorrow. I know it's kind of a big day for you guys. And we'll talk soon. We'll sort of catch up, I hope, sometime this week, so we can see the game and maybe play it with you and get beat by you really bad in the multiplayer.
Oh, all right.
Cool. Thanks, guys. I appreciate
It
it.
was a pleasure.
Thanks. Bye.
Yeah. Cheers.